Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A tentative insight into the natural world. A concept that is not yet verified but that if true would explain certain facts or phenomena. A scientific hypothesis that survives experimental testing becomes a scientific theory. A message expressing an opinion based on incomplete evidence. A proposal intended to explain certain facts or observations. A tentative insight into the natural world. A concept that is not yet verified but that if true would explain certain facts or phenomena. Capability of existing or happening or being true. There is a possibility that his sense of smell has been impaired. A possible alternative. Bankruptcy is always a possibility. A future prospect or potential. A tentative insight into the natural world. A concept that is not yet verified but that if true would explain certain facts or phenomena. A scientific hypothesis that survives experimental testing becomes a scientific theory. A belief that can guide behavior. The architect has a theory that more is less. A well-substantiated explanation of some aspect of the natural world. An organized system of accepted knowledge that applies in a variety of circumstances to explain a specific set of phenomena. True in fact and theory. To believe especially on uncertain or tentative grounds. A message expressing an opinion based on incomplete evidence. A hypothesis that has been formed by speculating or conjecturing, usually with little hard evidence. He dismissed it as mere conjecture. Reasoning that involves the formation of conclusions from incomplete evidence. An estimate based on little or no information. Guess correctly. Solve by guessing. He guessed the right number of beans in the jar and won the prize. Judge tentatively or form an estimate of quantities or time. Expect, believe, or suppose. I guess she is angry at me for standing her up. A message expressing an opinion based on incomplete evidence. Put forward, of a guess, in spite of possible refutation. I am guessing that the price of real estate will rise again. An investment that is very risky but could yield great profits. He knew the stock was a speculation when he bought it. A message expressing an opinion based on incomplete evidence. A hypothesis that has been formed by speculating or conjecturing, usually with little hard evidence. Speculations about the outcome of the election. Continuous and profound contemplation or musing on a subject or series of subjects of a deep or abstruse nature. A hypothesis that is taken for granted. A message expressing an opinion based on incomplete evidence. The cognitive process of supposing. A message expressing an opinion based on incomplete evidence. Imagine to be the case or true or probable. I surmised that the butler did it. A message expressing an opinion based on incomplete evidence. Infer from incomplete evidence. Make by combining materials and parts. Some eccentric constructed an electric brazier warmer. An abstract or general idea inferred or derived from specific instances. Reassemble mentally. Reconstruct the events of 20 years ago. Put together out of artificial or natural components or parts. Create by linking linguistic units. Construct a sentence. Create by organizing and linking ideas, arguments, or concepts. Construct a proof. Draw with suitable instruments and under specified conditions. Construct an equilateral triangle. An abstract or general idea inferred or derived from specific instances. The event that occurred at the beginning of something. The creation of something in the mind. An abstract or general idea inferred or derived from specific instances. The act of becoming pregnant. Fertilization of an ovum by a spermatozoan. The act of looking or seeing or observing. He tried to get a better view of it. See or watch. View a show on television. Graphic art consisting of the graphic or photographic representation of a visual percept. Figure 2 shows photographic and schematic views of the equipment. Look at carefully. Study mentally. View a problem. A way of regarding situations or topics, etc. Consider what follows from the positivist view. The range of the eye. They were soon out of view. A personal belief or judgment that is not founded on proof or certainty. The visual percept of a region. The most desirable feature of the park are the beautiful views. A message expressing a belief about something. The expression of a belief that is held with confidence but not substantiated by positive knowledge or proof. Deemed to be. She views this quite differently from me. The range of interest or activity that can be anticipated. Outward appearance. They look the same in outward view. Purpose. The phrase, with a view to, means, with the intention of, or, for the purpose of. He took the computer with a view to pawning it. The reason for a court's judgment, as opposed to the decision itself. The legal document stating the reasons for a judicial decision. Opinions are usually written by a single judge. A personal belief or judgment that is not founded on proof or certainty. My opinion differs from yours. A message expressing a belief about something. The expression of a belief that is held with confidence but not substantiated by positive knowledge or proof. His opinions appeared frequently on the editorial page. A belief or sentiment shared by most people. The voice of the people. He asked for a poll of public opinion. A vague idea in which some confidence is placed. An offer of marriage. The act of making a proposal. They listened to her proposal. Something proposed, such as a plan or assumption. A hypothesis that is taken for granted. The cognitive process of supposing. A hypothetical description of a complex entity or process. Based primarily on surmise rather than adequate evidence. Hypothetical situation. A hypothetical possibility, circumstance, statement, proposal, situation, etc. Consider the following, just as a hypothetical. A hypothetical description of a complex entity or process. A structure supporting or containing something. The underlying structure. Providing a factual framework for future research. The physically discrete element that Darwin proposed as responsible for heredity. A theory that social and cultural events are determined by history. A hypothesis that is taken for granted. Any society is built upon certain assumptions. Audacious, even arrogant, behavior that you have no right to. A statement that is assumed to be true and from which a conclusion can be drawn. On the assumption that he has been injured, we can infer that he will not play. The act of taking possession of or power over something. His assumption of office coincided with the trouble in Cuba. Celebration in the Roman Catholic Church of the Virgin Mary's being taken up into heaven when her earthly life ended, corresponds to the Dormition in the Eastern Orthodox Church. Christianity. The taking up of the body and soul of the Virgin Mary when her earthly life had ended. The act of assuming or taking for granted. Your assumption that I would agree was unwarranted. A person who poses for a photographer or painter or sculptor. The president didn't have time to be a model, so the artist worked from photos. Construct a model of. Model an airplane. A representative form or pattern. A hypothetical description of a complex entity or process. The computer program was based on a model of the circulatory and respiratory systems. Worthy of imitation. Model citizens. Representation of something, sometimes on a smaller scale. A woman who wears clothes to display fashions. Something to be imitated. A model of clarity. Someone worthy of imitation. Every child needs a role model. The act of representing something, usually on a smaller scale. Create a representation or model of. Form in clay, wax, etc. Model a head with clay. Assume a posture as for artistic purposes. Plan or create according to a model or models. A type of product. His car was an old model. Display, clothes, as a mannequin. Model the latest fashion. The art or gift of prophecy, or the pretense of prophecy, by supernatural means. A prediction uttered under divine inspiration. Successful conjecture by unusual insight or good luck.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.